Thank you. Can you all hear me okay? Great. Well, thank you so much to the event team for inviting me. It's exciting to be here. I'm traveling all the way from Redmond. So I got here, let's see, 2 days ago, and I've been adjusting to the jet lag. Just bear with me if I get a little tired throughout this next 2 days. I'm going to be here for the whole duration, so I know there's going to be a lot of questions. If you do have questions, feel free to ask me, but if there's things that we have more of an in-depth discussion, I will be here through all the rest of the 2 days so that we can have that conversation and continue talking. Okay, well, I wanted to also introduce myself since I don't know a lot of you. I joined Microsoft in October, so I am a newbie to Microsoft. My background is in higher education. I worked in the University of Washington. I also have my MBA from University of Washington in strategy. And some personal things about me, I'm getting married in October, so that's new. And I love riding my bicycle. So I have been riding my bicycle all over the world, and every place that I go, I try to ride a bike. And so I have traveled a lot. I'm an avid traveler, which unfortunately is not like a lot of Americans. So I try to travel as much as I possibly can. And I'm very passionate about people, about digital transformation, and really creating community. This is my email. Please feel free to use it. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I do want to get to know the community as much as I can. I know some of you, but don't know everybody. This is a really exciting time to be at Microsoft right now. As you all know, Satya, our CEO, has very much a lifelong learning mindset. It's a really exciting time to be at Microsoft. It's a really exciting time to be in learning. Learning has really been elevated to the core conversation as part of our senior leadership team. And as you can see here, Satya is very, very passionate about this kind of concept of lifelong learning. Being a learner, being always learning, that's great for you all, because he's really instilling as a company that we need to talk about learning. Learning needs to be something that we do. Learning needs to be something that we talk about. It needs to be something that we're infusing into our culture. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited where we're going as a company, and I'm excited to partner with you all in that endeavor. With that also means that we've had a little bit of a change. So we have combined multiple organizations within Microsoft, given Satya's leadership. And what we have done is elevated our what was traditionally the Microsoft Learning Experiences Group, or LEX, and we've combined it with 2 other internal learning organizations. What this means is that we're going to have one learning strategy, one way of delivering content for our customers, our partners, and our employees. And this is actually really exciting. I know that the kind of concept of a reorg scares people at Microsoft, people outside of Microsoft especially, but this is a really, really good thing. And the reason is because it helps us elevate the learning story. So we were once kind of one level down. We are now reporting into a CVP who reports right into Satya. So the conversation about learning is actually now being brought up again to the senior level. The ramifications of all of this and how it's going to play out, we still don't know yet. There's going to be lots of opportunities, and I'm really excited for the MCT population because I get to help share your story. So I get to say, and to our senior leadership, that this is what our population looks like. This is what our trainers do. These are the amazing people that we have as part of this fantastic community. And it's a really, really different time in Microsoft. We've never had this level of exposure before for learning. And really, I'm hoping a lot of buy-in from our product groups so that we can really have a much better concentrated story. So it's an exciting time. There will be some new changes that are rolling out, and there will be some new things that are going to be happening, and I will do my best to let you know as those happen. Mark?
The CVP has been designed yet or not?
Yes. Kim Akers. So she's been a veteran at Microsoft. She's been around for about 25 years, and she previously was the GM of the ISV in the partner group, and we're really excited. She's new to learning. And I'm excited about that because I think it's an opportunity to tell a new story, tell a fresh story, to be able to talk about this incredible program and everything that you all do. And it's someone who has not heard it before, so I get to shape that, and I'm actually really excited. So I wanted to kind of highlight in my talk today some of the new opportunities that are happening. I know that there is some some people that are scared. There's some fear in the room. There's some anxiety about what the future of learning looks like. And I'm here to kind of talk about what are the new things that we're rolling out, some of the new programs that we're having. So I want to talk about our program, Learning as a Service, that we're rolling out through our learning partners. We'll talk through the MAPS learning option, for those of you that don't know about the new partner expansion level that we have available. Going to go through some of our certification paths, some of the new certifications that we've added, and some of the new upcoming changes that are happening there. And then want to talk through a little bit about badging. I know you probably have heard some of the badging story, but I want to roll it all up for you. Learning is changing. I had a great conversation with some of you last night at the social event about the evolution of the market and how things are shifting. This was a study done by Deloitte where it's looking at the shift that's happened in the learning strategy. And we see that in 2009, 77% of training was done by instructor-led. Virtual was at 4%, online self-studies 10%, and you see the huge shift that has happened from 2009 all the way up to 2015, where we're looking at 32% in the ILT space, 45% in the VILT space, where online self-study is growing rapidly. And then, we can see that on-the-job training, so these are like apprenticeship programs and things like that, is increasing as well, and then collaboration. This could seem like a scary story, but I think there's real opportunity here. And I think especially you as premium depth trainers have an opportunity to really capitalize on this market. What they are saying in this study is that there is still an opportunity for premium ILT training, that is not going to go away. It may not be the only delivery method, whereas traditionally that was the only option. Things have changed with technology, with learning. Things are going online. You all know that. I think there's a real opportunity to make yourselves those premium depth trainers, and we at Microsoft are trying to do our best to open up those opportunities for you, give you the content. So kind of some of the things that we're going to be looking at. We take these kind of studies very seriously. Now again, this is about customer demand. These are learners. It's taking a view from a learner perspective. I did have a conversation with someone last night about how the fact that this may not be the best way to learn. That's not what we're talking about. This is talking about customer demand. So what are people asking for, and if their shift has been to online. Again, I would say that there is still a high demand for that in-depth training, but we need to work out what that means. And we know at Microsoft that that's going to be a challenge, and so we're trying to partner and trying to open up doors and opportunities so that you all still have that great in-depth experience and can be world-class trainers. Have you all heard about the Modern Learning Partner study that we commissioned with IDC? Okay. I will send this link out. It's a great study that we did with IDC about what the modern learning partner looks like. What is happening in the modern learning space around digital transformation, what's happening. Now, you all aren't learning partners, but I think this directly affects you, and I think you need to know what it is that we're commissioning from a learning partner perspective. It's a great, great study, and this white paper really kind of sums up where the industry is headed, where are some of the opportunities. So I say read this, read it again. I've read it probably about 55 times. It's a really great paper. So this kind of highlights when we're looking at the differences of training. We have the traditional classroom, right? This is where we have the set location. This is your traditional brick and mortar classroom training. We have, engagement with learners. These are rough estimates to describe the entire platform. There's some variances here. But really the value to the customer is meeting a defined training need, right? Then there's been this shift to a classroom in a digital space, so blended learning, right? We've got some work being done, prep work online, and then some being delivered in the classroom. Again, both virtual and potentially a set location. You can scale it a bit more, right? Because you've got more opportunities if you divide and conquer with some of your ILT. You can have different types of engagement with a learner. And then again, still value the customer meeting a defined training need. What we're looking at now is in this learning as a service space, looking at multiple platforms, multiple opportunities, multiple ways in which to deliver training. And this is where we're taking our learning partners. This is where we're taking a lot of our business moving forward is this learning as a service model, where there is a number of different modalities that you could train in. But we as Microsoft are providing you content that could span the gamut. And that we're letting you decide what, depending on what your learners need, what type of modality you would actually be training in. There's more flexibility with this model. We think that it meets the needs of the modern learner. We think that it's going to be much more flexible and scalable. So we're really excited about it. And my job is to help make sure that you as trainers come along with us in that journey. Again, I don't think the traditional classroom is going to go away. I don't think that the ILT is going to go away. I still think it's going to be that premium depth experience. But I do think that we need to face the reality that a lot of our learners are demanding online. And we need to make sure that we can deliver that premium experience, that it's a great experience. The goal really is that we're also moving towards something that's continual with the learner. So you've heard of our Microsoft Professional Program. That's something that's very much job skills based. And we're starting a program with our learning partners to actually deliver the Microsoft Professional Program where they can couple soft skills, workforce development, any other recruitment, kind of other training that goes with that online curriculum. That's kind of the goal. So as I mentioned, this learning as a service model, what we actually are delivering is Microsoft is packaging up a set of both a learning management system, which is sitting on an Open edX platform, and then it's deployed on Azure. And then we also have it will be at least 150 courses that we as Microsoft have created that are actually being deployed through this learning as a service. So what we're offering to our partners is this ability to deliver online courses themselves. The content's coming from Microsoft, and we will continue to be pumping out more and more content as we go along. The opportunity here is content is at one level. What are the value-added services that are also going the next level down that you all can be providing? And so our learning partners are starting this new journey. We want you to start this new journey with us. And so that's looking like, what are the things that you can provide? Workshops, blended opportunities. Are there things from a mentoring perspective? What are the additional elements that you could add into content here? And this is kind of the strategy that we're going with. Mark.
Sorry. A couple of questions. Is that open also to the MAPS learning partners? And is there any form of training, or do we have access as MCT to the offering tools?
So the Open edX Learning as a Service is not yet available for the MAPS level.
Yes.
It potentially could be. We haven't made that final decision. It's a lot of work on our engineering team to actually package up and deploy each instance. And so it's a resourcing constraint at this point. We have been exploring the option of having MCTs have your own Open edX platform. So that may be coming out. Don't quote me on that, but the goal being that you have a place to play. Now, at this point, if you can actually deploy things on Azure, you can go on to the Open edX platform and actually install your own instance of our Open edX with the Microsoft ARM templates. You just don't have access to the content. So you could play with the platform itself. It is available. It's open source content. So I can get you the link.
It's a third party. It's not Microsoft.
Correct. Woo! Crazy. I know. Wild. Yes, so this is a open source, so we are now part of the open source community, and yes, we as Microsoft are open source. So for this piece specifically, there's a lot of third-party content that can also be added into it, which is really exciting because there's a lot of things that are going to be able to be added into this platform because it's open source content. So yes, you as MCTs, now you could go on and actually play with the platform itself. You just wouldn't have access to the content. It's only available for our silver and gold learning partners at this point. So there is a completion certificate that comes as part of the end of the course. So this is done in, if y'all are familiar with the MOOC platform, Massively Open Online Courseware. I hate that term. I think it's ridiculous. We're not massively anything. Originally it was thinking like, billions of people, and that's not what's happening. But it's this terminology in the industry that everyone likes to throw around. The idea being that you have about 40 hours of content. So each of the courses is going to be about 40 hours of content broken up into modulars. And then at the end of that, you could purchase a completion certificate. So there is a revenue model opportunity for learning partners, and it's really passive, which is they're excited about that. They do get a margin off of a completion certificate. Other than that, the course content is free. Partners can choose if they want to add, different things. But right now, there's no exam connected directly into this content. It's something we are exploring to see what the opportunity is. No one in the industry does this now. So we're seeing if it's feasible, if it's viable, if it's something that we could explore. But we are exploring it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions on this? This is exciting. I'm really excited about it. I think it's daring. It's new. I think the opportunities for you as trainers, and I really want to partner with you all, is how do we make sure that you have the tools to be able to actually work in this space? And how do you make sure that you are defining yourself as a premium trainer? And how do you make sure that you can continue to conduct your training and have your business? I think that's really important. So it's something that I am really passionate about. I'm really interested. I think this meets the needs of where learners are. I think it's a way that we can get Microsoft technology deployed to people who have never, ever set foot in a learning partner classroom before, which is also an exciting opportunity. I also think that a lot of partners are using it as lead generation. So if someone is really, the sales cycle has changed for learning, and especially for our traditional learning partners. And so they're using this as an opportunity to say, okay, you don't know about SharePoint, for example, or you don't know about Azure. Come take a few online courses, explore it, and then we have information. We can come and understand where you are, where your needs are. People are using it as pre-assessments for courses, blended opportunities, the whole, it's a huge new world that we're exploring. And so I'm really, really excited about it. But I do understand and I want to be aware that it is a little scary. It's a new world. It's a new way we're doing things. So I want to be as open and transparent about that as possible and still find opportunities for you all to have business. Okay. How many heard about the Azure Skills Initiative? Okay. This was a company-wide One Microsoft story. This was a fantastic collaboration between multiple groups at Microsoft centered around learning and skills. Never been done before. It was really exciting to have senior level buy-in on the concept of driving skills in the marketplace. We saw that there was a huge gap in the marketplace with Azure skills, and so we put together a variety of offers, campaigns, content specifically around this. We learned a lot from this opportunity. We did it in about 6 weeks, which is unheard of from a Microsoft perspective. We will be doing new skills initiatives as we move forward. The goal here is to learn from what we failed at the first time. It was a great story. It was a great opportunity. We didn't do the best job of including all of our channel in that. And so what the goal is for the next time is that we bring you all along with us. So you know what's happening before it actually lands. So you know what the next skills initiative is going to be, that there's trainer opportunity, that there's learning partner opportunity. We didn't land the learning partner offers and the ILT solutions until about a month after this launched. That's not good the next time. So it's a learning opportunity. We did this really fast, like I said. So again, the goal is that this is going to be kind of the new model for driving skills. So we may have an Office 365, we may have a Dynamics, we may have a Windows Server. We're not sure what the next one's going to be yet. But my promise to you is that I will let you know and that we can get you skilled up on the next one that's happening. Guarantee it's going to be in some of our strategic technology areas, as you probably can imagine. But this is the new kind of way we're trying to drive a specific skill, saying here's the story around a specific area, here's what the marketplace needs, and we're trying to drive a specific skill. We have a lot of content. I don't know if you all know that. There's a lot going on at Microsoft Learning. We have a lot of content, we have a lot of technology, and it's hard for people to sift through what's happening. And so a company-wide strategy around a skills initiative is a really exciting thing, and it provides some clarity for some of those opportunities. Any questions about this? Okay. As I mentioned, we're going to talk through kind of some of the opportunities that are happening in the partner program, specifically around the MAPS learning option. Has everyone heard about MAPS learning? I hope you have at this point. Okay, so there's a lot of information in this deck that you will get afterwards about some of the specific benefits, how to sign up, but I really just wanted to call this out as this is an exciting new opportunity to have a new entry level for our learning partner program. So what this looks like is it's a lower level. The requirements are that someone has at least one MCT. So that means that if you have a training company, if you are providing consulting services, you could be a MAPS learning partner. You could enter into the Microsoft partner ecosystem. There's a lot of benefits that come with that. You get discount purchases off of courseware. There are some KPIs that need to be met to stay in the program. So that's 50 essentially mock kits purchased in a year. There is a graduated scale on which you get a discount depending on your level of partner. So everyone in the learning option gets a discount off of courseware higher than our regular MPN partners. But then the deeper the discount, the higher you are on the scale, essentially. It's a new exciting opportunity. Again, expansion. It also helps to validate if you are a partner or if you're delivering training. This is another way to actually become part of the ecosystem. We've had great uptick, huge excitement on this, so we're really excited. Yes?
I understand I'm a registered partner.
Yeah.
Will it still be active?
Are you do you have a Microsoft Action Pack partner?
I have an Action Pack.
Yes. Yeah, so go ahead and go on this website here, Maps Learning Option, and there's an opportunity to, if you've already purchased the Action Pack, it's not an additional fee to add the Learning Option, you just need to have an MCT. So if you are already an Action Pack member, if you're already part of the ecosystem, you already have that subscription, you could add this at no additional cost. Any other questions about this? Yeah, go ahead.
Like looks at, for example, if he applies and MOOCs, he's still restrained to deliver those classes only to Netherlands, for example, because his company is in Netherlands, or can he deliver elsewhere as well?
That is a great question. So right now, the policy is that you can deliver training in the country that you are located in. It's based on where the courseware is purchased. So you need to be able to deliver it in the country in which the courseware is purchased, which also means the country that your MPN identification location is. For MCTs, you don't have to worry about that as much, but if you are a partner, you need to know that to deliver courseware, it's the country that it's purchased in, which is based on the country that you're registered in. So if you're delivering in multiple countries, you need to have locations in multiple countries, at least registrations. You can have multiple under one partner ID, but you just need to know that.
So just add more seats.
Yeah. Any other questions about this?
Just a side question.
Yeah.
Regarding the gold partnership, the level of the MOOCs that I need to be a gold partner.
To be a gold
are
partner?
Still the same?
Yes.
They're not going to be changed?
They are not changing at this point, no. I can't guarantee they won't change in the
More
future,
than
but
half the countries in Europe will not have gold partners.
correct.
The whole market, even if you only had one partner, will not reach gold.
Yes, so we have had a shift in the partner. So the new requirements that rolled out about a year ago, there was a shift of less gold partners, more silver partners, and then the idea being maps being the biggest option right now. And so yes, that shift is happening, that we've increased the requirements to continue at gold status. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So again, here's some of the benefits, things to read over after the fact, because this is long and you probably can't see it. There are clear instructions on that website about if you are interested in signing up, what you need to do. Also, please note that you all have courseware marketplace, or you can have courseware marketplace accounts. It's associated with your MCT ID. If you are a MAPS Learning partner, if you have the Action Pack, you will need a new courseware marketplace account. That is something key because you get certain benefits and access as MCTs. As a learning partner, it's a different account and it has different benefits and access, and you have different purchasing power. So if you have both, you will need to have two different accounts. Apologize. There's no other way that we can identify it on the back end about who you are and where you come from.
Just a clarification.
Yeah.
We need two different accounts. They can be combined though within a single user login.
Correct.
Just to make
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good distinction. But just having just your MCT, you need to make sure that we identify with the new ID. Okay. Wanted to kind of go through some of the work that we've been doing on the credentialing side. So we have our certification business has been expanded into what we're calling modern credentialing. So we're going to have one strategy for all of our credentialing, which includes our certificates that we're delivering for our Open edX platform. It includes our certification business. It includes kind of everything that we're doing as far as a quote-unquote credential. It includes, Microsoft Professional Program, certificates, and things like that, so that we can have one strategy across the board. Just as a side note, specifically for you all, those are just some of the things that we've landed in the last year. We're really excited about what has happened in the certification business. We think that it's a lot more modern. We think that it lands better. We think that the story lines up to where Microsoft is going as far as content and as far as how they're categorizing things. The new pathways, which I hope you all are aware of at this point, they line up to what Microsoft has defined as the MPN Centers of Excellence. So we're looking at cloud productivity and infrastructure, mobility, productivity. Those are kind of the big bets, and our technologies fall into those. We're hoping that it takes the conversation out of a specific technology and brings it into what's the outcome. If you're looking at a productivity solution, you can train in productivity, not just Office 365. So some new things that have happened. These are all the ones that you are aware of. We've had some new things that have landed. We had a new name change for our MCSA in data science to MCSA in machine learning. There was huge confusion in the marketplace about the difference between the MPP data science track and our MCSA in data science. So we renamed the MCSA. We think it's more applicable to what it actually contains. So it's a MCSA in machine learning. We also added business applications, so Dynamics 365 and Dynamics 365 for Operations, MCSA, and that was added in March. We are attempting to do a better job at connecting in with the Dynamics group about content and things like that, because now we've added it as a certification path. So if you are a Dynamics trainer and you don't have access to some of their content, please let me know. We can get free access for MCTs.
My concern is that the new MCSA for Dynamics, there are only 2 incredibly technical exams to be passed. Mm-hmm. And for functional consultants that want to be MCTs, that's impossible unless we just go and download the questions. Is that the way we need to do it?
Impossible from a preparation perspective?
Yes.
Okay.
We are not technical people, so we cannot be expected to pass SQL exams and development and these kind of things.
So we're still going to have the other, from an MCT perspective, we still have the other Dynamics certifications available that you have today. So those aren't going away, the Dynamics ones. We're updating the rest of the certification. But that's a good note that I will take back to the credentialing team, that there needs to be more options if you're not a technical trainer.
Is it? Yeah. But the new ones, they are related to Dynamics 365. So if you want to deliver Dynamics 365 courses, we need the new paths, right?
Yes, but let me
and as of 1st of July, we're not having the previous Dynamics anymore being sold to customers. So every new training will be on Dynamics 365.
Dynamics 365. And you're only having technical. So let me take that back to our certification team. Make sure you find me afterwards, and I'll follow up if I have an answer for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other questions on this? Mark.
The Dynamics training courseware is only for Dynamics MCTs or open to all MCTs?
No, we can get it for all MCTs.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, we just need to email the Dynamics group, and I will get you the contact information for how to get that.
Well, Dr. Shea, if you want. Hot boxes, Dr. Shea, what's that?
Yeah, we're going to do a better job of publicizing that. Well, it wasn't created by Microsoft Learning. No, the Dynamics team is great, but we do have some opportunity for improvement in our relationship with them. So besides Dynamics, just as a note, that these are the active certifications. So as MCTs, you all need to have active certifications. Most of the old certifications, all of them were now retired by the end of March. So we are not going to make changes into the program requirements. We're going to give you a little bit of time so that you can get an active certification. Most likely, this should not be too much of a hurdle. If it is, please come talk to me. But I just want to make sure you know that we need to have everyone on an active certification. Questions about that?
What's an active certification?
These ones here.
This one there.
Yes.
The one with a number behind it, which you didn't hear about last year?
Pardon?
Last year, they introduced the new way where you had to recertify every year.
Yes.
It reminds me of 1995, where you did exactly the same. Obviously, you don't remember. I became an MCSE on Windows NT 3, and it was to be repeatedly have to recertify. And then they decided, no, the next one we're going to call MCSE NT 4. So for me, this is all the way back again. So last year we heard you're going to become an MCSE, you won't stay one, you had to recertify. And earlier this year I learned, no, the MCSE that I have now, which is different than what I had before, is now not valid anymore. I have to recertify, as was announced last year, but now you get a number behind it.
So, for the year that you certified. Yes, so the recertification requirement is no longer in place. So you do not have to recertify.
Okay, so feedback works. Thank you.
So
But
wait
you
a
will
minute,
get a year.
may I have a question too? So
Hold on one
if
second.
we have
Wait,
lost a
hold on one
certification,
second. But you will get a year stamp of when you earned it. So that if you did want to recertify, if you wanted to keep up with technology, you would have a new year if you wanted to do an next one. But there's no requirement that you have to recertify.
so
Anyone.
So just a question, because I just received a bunch of acclaim badges. This is
Yes.
because our old certifications that have expired are now active again?
For your acclaim badges?
Yeah, I got just a bunch of certifications plus an LCSE that I have lost like 4 months ago.
Yeah, the problem with the claim is that usually they send emails in batches.
Right.
For instance, usually I have like cert, and sometimes I get in the same day like 5 emails from a claim, and then I have like, I don't know, like 2-3 months without emails. And for exams that I already took like a year ago, they send me like more 5-6 emails.
Okay.
And it's like spam, to be honest.
Okay. I'll,
Because for us, they send like a bunch of emails.
I'll take that back to the team and see
Yeah.
if there's anything we can do on the acclaim side to batch those in a different way. Was there another question that you had?
No, actually more of a suggestion.
Yeah.
I think you could take back that if we have difficulties keeping up with this, understanding this,
Yes.
please make a better job doing this to our students. We will do that too,
Yeah.
but please make a better job of
Yeah.
it.
So what we're going to do with this and the opportunity, thank you for that feedback. I completely agree. It is challenging. The goal with this streamlined path is that this will be the model moving forward. And so what we're also going to be doing is putting together some decks and resources for you all as trainers to help share out to your students and your learners, and doing a better job of helping you explain the certification story. We don't do a good job of that. We don't leverage you the way we really could, and so that's something I want to work in the next year, is to actually give you the resources to help explain it, and help explain it in a way that's understandable. Yeah, Renee.
Allison, last week we have or 2 weeks ago, we have the MCT town hall
Yes.
session. And this session was a slide from the new program manager for
Certification.
certification that have a slide with a view of the transcript. In this transcript, you have seen correctly, you've seen a deadline for the productivity. What's that? You said 2 minutes ago that the new productivity MCC have no inactive time. So when you see that there, you see an inactive time that the MCSE, the new MCSE productivity will also lose when I have no recertificate. Is that right or not?
So are you talking about the achievement date that's right
Correctly.
there? Yeah, so the achievement date is the date in which you achieved it. So it's important that we know the date in which you achieved that certification, so we have something historically to go back to. If you achieve your MCSE in 2017, that will stay on your transcript. If you achieve it again and you can recertify by taking another elective, then you will get, if you achieve it in another year, you would get an MCSE 2018. Your 2017 would still be there. Does that make sense?
When you see that,
Yeah, so it just adds it here. There's the first date, and then it adds the recertified date.
That's a recertified date?
Yes.
Okay, I
If you
understand.
choose to recertify. Again, not a requirement.
Okay.
It looks like it's a deadline. That's why he's asking.
Ah, the date it expires, as opposed to...
Started in December 2016 and it's going to be...
Okay, that's good feedback. I will take that back to the team. Thank you.
Michael here. Bi-monthly refresh of cloud exams.
Yes.
How you do manage that one? Because it's not even possible to keep the other exams up to date, and now you require the cloud exams to be retake yearly, and you want to promise us that they get updated every 2 months. Does it mean that the courseware belonging to that exam is also be updated every 2 months?
It's a loaded question.
And, yeah. And the other thing is, why did you get rid of the policy that you can't retake an exam after you have passed it, and now you have to retake it to retake your certification?
So
Why didn't you introduce like a retake exam number yearly, like HP does it, that is called a Delta exam?
Yeah. So the idea is that on the cloud technologies, things are changing so rapidly, as you all know, that the idea was to try to make sure that the exams were keeping up with the marketplace. So we are doing bi-monthly refreshes. That is the way it is right now. It is planned in our exam development. So there are bi-monthly refreshes of all of our cloud exams that are happening right now. We started it in November. The reason for the retake was so that you wouldn't have different exams. To keep up with different exams is really challenging. So if we had one exam still out there in the marketplace, and then we had the B version, the C version, the D version, the E version, the F version, that's really hard for us to keep up, as opposed to just refreshing the exam itself, and then allowing you, if you choose as a candidate, both as an MCT and an MCP, if you choose to actually want to prove those skills that you're continually active, you have the opportunity to retake it. So it's more of an opportunity to prove that you have the skills and that you're up to date with the current technology, because we're refreshing the exams. But gone are the days in which it stays current for 2 years. That's not the way cloud is working right now. On the courseware side, yes, they are working through trying to do more active updates on the cloud exams, or excuse me, on the cloud courseware. But again, it's a challenge. We're trying to answer the how do we keep up to date with cloud. It's a big challenge, but I know that it is in the plans for the next year to try to look at how they would do updates.
The challenge is always going to be that there is a point in time where the exam has to be.
Yes.
And what, like currently, say for instance, the exams, like for the cloud exams, the exams are, say for instance, were November last year. So if we're trying to guide students towards passing the exam, then the problem is that if the courseware is moving forward and the exams aren't, then there's new stuff that exists that doesn't exist, that's passed in the exam.
Correct.
And then of course, if the exam moves forward but the courseware doesn't, then the same thing goes back and forth.
All the reverse, yeah.
So I think what has to happen in the exam design is that and that's where it goes back to, if we're getting people to actually go into the exam, is that there has to be a declared point in time. This is what it's going to be. The exam design has to include things that are not changing as much. And that's why you do things like, say for instance, the exams will include more PowerShell as an example than anything else, because PowerShell doesn't change as much as the GUI. Now it will eventually change, but that's where that sort of where that comes in. The problem being that then if you have students who are mainly GUI based admins, that they then get really challenged by the PowerShell, and then you then have students that declare things as being really challenging exams.
Yes.
Because they have to learn PowerShell to be able to pass the exam. So I think it's like that's something that's not really going to be a solution, like really ever. There's like even if there's a rapid release of the exams and a rapid release of the courseware, there's still going to be a point in time where that's going to be different. What we need to do is we do need to try and close that gap, so that we as the instructors know when that point of time is, and we know at what point, like where the technology was at that point. So when the exam moves forward, when the technology moves forward, the exam hasn't, we still know exactly where it is. Because like say, at the moment, if we're looking like at Azure exams as an example for as I said, declared at November last year, there's a lot that's changed since then. So if I'm prepping a student for an exam, I've got to try and remember what it was November last year. And it's like, oh, hang on, that particular product didn't exist in its form as it is now. So that's where we need to sort of be, like, I think what would be helpful for us is actually knowing, like having, as I said, a declared set of this is where the values were at that point.
Yeah.
So that we can then help.
Yeah, that's a really good point of feedback. Thank you. I'll take that back to the team. And thank you for explaining that. I think it is a challenge, and again, I don't know if we're ever going to find the perfect solution, but I do think that there's some opportunities that we can do to close the gap, and I will take that back to both the courseware team and the exam team to say, what can we do to make sure that you as trainers are ready to go to help explain that? And you know what's changed in the last. Granted, we need to maybe find a good way to get you that information so that we're not bombarding your email inboxes with all the updates and changes, because I don't think anyone's going to be happy with that either. But I do think that we can figure out how best to do that. Okay, one more question then I can move on. Go ahead.
Cloud exams, does it mean 532, 533, 534, or 346, 347? Or does it also include like 697, which is Windows 10, which includes questions about Windows Intune, which is cloud-based? Or does it mean like an exam like 398, which is... So do you have a number about the cloud exams? I've taken recently 398, which was like 35 questions, and it was about questions about Azure Remote App, which was announced to be removed in March, something like this year. But if you take it in March or in April, it still has questions about a product which wasn't supported by Microsoft months ago.
So here's what I'll do. I'll make sure in my slides to include the exams that are considered in the Cloud Rapid Refresh. How's that?
Would be helpful.
I cannot answer that question right now.
Microsoft should change it to all the exams that such cloud stuff. Instead of like you, it's like Microsoft.
Well,
that's what he's saying. And I understand you want to clarify it, but we need to change it. All the cloud stuff changes.
Yeah.
Not only courses
Yeah.
that are called cloud, all the courses and exams that touch cloud need to be.
yeah. And ideally, that would be the perfect state. We're going to try to work towards that. Okay, I want to move on to badging. There was badging that was talked about before. And one of the things, hey guys, attention back up here, please. Thank you. I just want to make sure we keep moving along. So badging is something that I know you all are aware of. What we didn't do a good job of is explaining why we're doing badging and the value behind it. We have had a huge uptick from our MCP candidates in their excitement around badging, their download to badging, their sharing of badging. We're seeing a lot of activity on social media. We're seeing a lot of activity on LinkedIn. We're seeing people that are really excited about these digital badges. What we didn't tell you, we should have done this, was that it is connected to job data. So it is not just a badge. It is actually connected to data about what that certification means, the job opportunities that are behind it, and then it's searchable. So if someone actually clicks on the badge that you have shared on LinkedIn, they can actually see that you have verified that you have taken that certification, and then they can get job information, and that you as a candidate can get job information about what that certification actually means and what it could lead to. We didn't tell that story. We didn't do a good job of sharing it. So the goal in the next year is to actually give you more kind of a deck and information on how to talk about badging so your candidates actually understand what the heck we're doing. We know that there was some confusion about the fact that emails were released by Acclaim. We didn't tell you they were coming. Who is this Acclaim person? It's not from Microsoft. We know that there's some confusion and that you have to do a lot of steps to get that. So we're looking at improving that process. We'll admit that yes, we didn't do the greatest job at rolling it out. But we're trying to make improvements, and that we're also going to be helping share that story for you all so you actually understand what it is for yourself. And then we can also, you can utilize it for your candidates. We are also going to be releasing an MCT badge. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll actually have an MCT badge available as well. So I think I'm really excited about that. I think that will be really great to have. If you all have not gone and shared your badges, if you actually haven't gone and claimed your badges, because you do have to go ahead and claim that you are who the system says you are, claim your badge, and then you have the opportunity to share it. So please go ahead and do that if you haven't done that. And a lot of our candidates are really excited about it, so I think it's a really great opportunity. Yeah, question in the back first.
Hi there. This introduces us to Acclaim. There's also Guru. Is there going to be integration or anything like that between these various platforms? Because it just seems to be layering on more and more platforms now.
Yeah. So Guru is really from a not as they're different goals, essentially. They're different outcomes. So really, Acclaim is an actual badging company that delivers technical certification badges. IBM uses them, Cisco uses them, a lot of our other tech companies use them. And so it's also connected to the tech industry as well, so that there's kind of shared data across. Guru is really about kind of the job opportunity market. So at this point, there is no plan to connect them in because they're really two different systems. And we've chosen Acclaim from a technical certification perspective, which is different than what Guru is. There was one more question. Yeah.
Has there been any study about cultural things behind badging? Because in my country, badging, well, we don't even use our. When you're a doctor, you don't use that because you're just a person.
Yeah.
So badges.
Yeah. That's a really good, that came up in the town hall this last week, actually, as well. So not at this point, but it's something that I'm going to take back to the badging team and ask to have some cultural studies done. I know that there's data, we just haven't dove into it yet.
You get ridiculed if you walk around with badges in our
Even on your social media?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But look at him.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Huh.
He's just exposing himself as a knowledgeable person. Well, we know how those persons are.
That's really interesting.
So it works against you.
What country?
The Netherlands.
Netherlands, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, so that's a good research point. I'll have our team dive into that and see what's coming up as far as data, and if there's anything that we see that there's a different download rate in the Netherlands versus some of the other countries.
Actually,
The serious question here, or the serious remark is here. We like what you're doing, but it's not for us. For us, it's against. So don't blame us if we don't do this.
That's fine.
Don't.
But it is an opportunity for your learners, and I do want that message to come clear, is that there is an opportunity for learners here, and our learners are caring about it. So I think from a trainer perspective, maybe you personally don't care as a trainer, but it is something that you should be paying attention to because it's what the market is demanding. Maybe not in every country, I will caveat that, yeah.
On the other hand, we should actually confess because we have a lot of high schools.
True, I've never been. So that'll be on my next list. Yeah, okay. I won't. I won't wear a badge. I'll hide all of them. Okay. Just wanted to reiterate, we still have our FY17 cloud incentive available if you haven't renewed your MCT status for the next year, or if you are a baby and you're looking to become an MCT. There's a 10% off your MCT fee if you have one of our cloud certifications. Yes, question.
There is also a 75% off exam.
Yes. Thank you. You prepped my slides. Yes, there is a 75% off strategic exam. No, fantastic. So this was as a result of feedback from the program survey that you all gave, which I'll talk about in just a few seconds. But we know that the cost of exams is a burden. And so I am doing my best to try to work through what we could do to provide a cheaper option for exams. I'm pushing strategic technologies, get certified, take these exams, but they're not always the cheapest. And when you have to do a lot of them, I know that that is burdensome from a cost perspective. We have not finalized what their exam discount will be for this next fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts in July. I can promise that there will be a discount.
But if you can also add dynamics there, that would be appreciated.
Point taken, yes. So just as a note, if you want to take advantage of this offer, it needs to be scheduled through the MCT dashboard, because that's where you get the exam. So go on to the MCT dashboard, which is your personal dashboard on the WAC Learning, Microsoft/Learning website, and the benefit shows up right at the top of the screen. And then you go ahead and click through Learn More and you schedule exam there. If you go ahead and schedule it outside of that portal, then you won't get your 75% off. Don't come complaining to me that you didn't get your 75% off because you didn't do what I told you to do. Okay? I'm not kidding, you'd be surprised. You really would be surprised. So make sure you schedule it through. And we've seen some great uptick on this. I think we've gotten 200 MCTs already taking and passing exams so far for such a short period. This is fantastic. So it's proving also to our leadership that y'all are interested in taking this and utilizing an exam discount, which is good. So that's a good message to tell. So the goal is really a proof of concept. This is also a new offer engine that we've built through the dashboard. So we haven't had anything like this before. So we have an opportunity to target specifically this offer just through MCTs. It's a lot less of a operational challenge on our end because it's just available to you and we don't have to provide codes or anything like that. It's automatically built in. So it was also, we were utilizing, I was killing two birds with one stone, utilizing this offer to roll it out for MCTs first to see how it worked, and it's working really well. So, yeah, Renee.
Maybe I tested, and the problem is that only when I do that with a 75 discount, then I switch to US and not to Euro. So that's a different. Can you check this with the team that it's not only for US, that can also use in Europe or in other countries on the world? So
yeah, send me an email.
Yeah,
and
so
I'll make sure it should be global.
When you go over the link, only when you go on ENUS, you found the discount. When you go from European and we start, the discount is not seen on the MCT.
Yeah. Okay, but I'll Renee, send me an email because it should be global and you should be seeing it. But yes, Tiago confirmed that if you do schedule the exam, the discount applies. Just the page itself. Yeah, there's a rollout with our pages from a localization perspective. It takes longer, unfortunately. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Another conversation. I did want to highlight that we are not done. So we do have opportunities to improve. We had a huge turnout from our MCT program survey, so thank you all for filling that out. We had over 1,700 MCTs, which is the highest we have seen in years for this survey. Our satisfaction overall is up, which is exciting. I keep telling Patrick the reason why is because he got a new job and I got hired. Just kidding. But you know, we're making improvements with the program. We know that there are some things that aren't working. We know that there are some challenges. And I really appreciate everyone's candid feedback in the survey. Please believe me, I am reading every one of those. So our team is going through and digesting all of the verbatim feedback with 1,700 responses. It's taking us a little time. But we are really looking at what you said, the suggestions that you provided. I'm also sharing it out with our leadership on where there are opportunities for improvements. But you also told us where we were doing things well, which was really helpful, things that were working. And so value of the MCT is up, likelihood of renewal is up. These are all great things. We were really happy with these results. And we've had the highest response rate we've had in years, so that's really, really helpful.
Statistics pretty much the same in all the countries?
Is satisfaction the same in all the countries? For the most part, yes. There's some in Japan, satisfaction is down because we doubled their price. But we hadn't changed any prices there for about 15 years. So, yeah. So they weren't too happy with us. But just know that we've had some really great things. So satisfaction from our mock content is up. So the team took the survey feedback from last year, really made some improvements, so that is great. Then program communication, enrollment and renewal process. John Vendelin is working really hard to make that a continual improvement process for you all. So he's definitely working with trying to make sure that that is a seamless experience. We know there's challenges there. And again, we received some great verbatim feedback. So we are taking everything that you recommended, suggested, and we're rolling it out for FY18. My goal is to make sure that we tell you what's changing and what's happening, and we do a better job. Have you been attending the town hall series that I've been conducting? I know there was a reschedule with those. Those are going to be happening probably on a quarterly, if not more frequent basis. I think it's a great opportunity to share out what's happening with the program, get people to come in. We knew that they were a little long the first round, so we tried to shorten it this last time. We'll get the videos posted up, I believe this week, if you missed it last week, and we're going to try to find good times for those to work. So we're playing with the time zones to make sure that it's a good time. The first time was really pretty much in everyone's middle of the day. So we're trying to find off times if you are training, that you've got some times that you can go that. Just as a reminder, we have the training support forums that have launched. This is a good opportunity if you have challenges with your renewal, enrollment, payment, learning, download center, MCT software and services. These are supported by the RSCs. We know that it's not the perfect system, and so we're working on doing some training. There are over 175 different scenarios for MCTs because the program is complicated. And so we are doing our best to retrain our RSC agents to understand all the complexities of the program. So I know that there's been some frustration there, but John is working on retraining them and things like that. But this is a good opportunity if you have questions or you don't call the center directly to have both forum support and you can get things answered. The hope is quickly. Okay, so as I wrap up, some things to think about. Being well positioned from a cloud adoption perspective, what are the unique skills that you're bringing to really look at what that differentiation and premium ILT experience? I think there's really great opportunities there. You know, we're going to be rolling out some new structures with our MOOC content on workshops and boot camps. This is something that's happening, especially around Azure right now. So those are new rollouts that are going to be happening. So look for those. We're really excited about this opportunity because it kind of flips the 5-day MOOC workshop totally on its head. Or the 5-day MOOC structure on its head, and we're looking at doing blended opportunities and things like that. So there's going to be a lot of new stuff that's rolling out, and the question is, you know, making sure that you're ready to go, you're understanding this new mentality. We will get you access and let you know how to play with the OpenEdX platform if you're interested in doing that. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Allison.